All right, welcome to another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. I'm your brother Ogar from Hip Hop News Uncensored. Sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man SamAnt, viral Hip Hop News. You're in the building on this Thursday for a special edition of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We got a special guest in the building, our man Michael Nove'lll.
Yeah.
What's good, Michael Nove'lll?
What's happening, family, man? I'm glad to be on your show. I've been checking y'all out since probably around the third quarter of last year. So, man, y'all doing big things over there, man. Just checked out episode of you guys with T.I. interviewing Tyler Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting. A little bit inconclusive on some aspects, but very interesting nevertheless.
Yeah, man. First and foremost, we appreciate you definitely being a subscriber, being a supporter of the platform, man. That's definitely humbling. Yeah, man. So let's talk about the video, man. Let's talk about the song. You've obviously been featured on Viral Hip Hop News and Hip Hop News Uncensored for your song. Let's get a little bit into your career, man. How did you start? How did you get into music? What got you into your journey in R&B?
Man, I think my story ain't gonna be too much different than all the rest, man. It started very early age. Since my ears heard the sound of music, it resonated with my soul, and understanding that, creatively, creativity, it's all about the soul, man. It's the soul's expression. So, some of my later artists, that influenced me, man, which is too many to name, they help cultivate that, so, that let me know right then and there that, hey, music, man, it's something that resonates with me, and that's what I want to do from that point.
Yeah, dope. So so where are you based out of? You're based out of Los Angeles, and then you moved to Hawaii. Talk about your journey and where you're from and how that influences your music.
Okay, basically, I'm originally born in Savannah, Georgia. But as a child, I bounced around a lot, long story short, I'll keep it general, but we know how it is, with the whole marriage, divorce, mommy, daddy type situation. Being a child, you got limited control of where you end up. So, in that instance, throughout, my childhood growing up, it's been a lot of traveling, a whole lot of living here, living there, and all that, so, but, through that whole process, man, music, I definitely say, it was definitely a therapeutic, thing for me, so, man, it helped me through a lot. That's all I can say. From that point, I started writing music, started as poems before actually turning to actual songwriting. Basically, man, it just culminated to what it is now, every step of the way brought me to the point to where I am now, which is currently in Hawaii, the island of Oahu, where I've been for the last decade now. So, that's what it is.
Out there in Hawaii right now, with that whole coronavirus thing going on out there, none of that.
Bruh.
Masked up.
Do I need to say anything more?
Right.
It's real everywhere. It's real everywhere, man.
Wow.
It's about 50% of people you will see with these, wearing these. So, it's real everywhere.
Now, you say we've been communicating back and forth a little bit the last couple of weeks, and you say you still have a pretty heavy work schedule. You still work. If you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, man, I'm a general maintenance technician, but also my main primary job is certified pool operator. So I pretty much I work with a military company. They're contracted to the military, and we deal with the residents in the housing, the leasing, the building, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of fit into that scheme, with what I do. So yeah, that's my main full time. But I also have, other businesses, that supplement my income outside of my full time. So aside from doing music and everything else.
Yeah, what do you plan to do with music in your future? What's your goal?
Basically, man, for me, I can only speak for myself. I learned the hard way that God laughs at plans. But what I try to do, I just try to stick with what I love. You know, first and foremost, I do it out of love, for love, and for the fact that it's therapeutic for me. So man, regardless of what happens, how far I go with it, it's going to always be a part of me. It's going to always be a part of my soul. I'm going to always do it regardless. You know, right now, I am internationally published and distributed with, I got a couple albums out there already. I think right now, one of the primary issues is obviously, as we all know, is that, proper promotion and backing and everything else that comes along with it. And for me, that's been like a slow process, and that's, not making excuses primarily because of, just real life responsibilities, obligations, and just having to be on the grind, and doing what actually pays the bills. Um, and I do have a son as well, so you know, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We all have our journey, and we find our way to the end goal. You know, however that however that ends up. Everybody's way is a little different, and I accept that and I understand that.
Absolutely.
Well, you're not afraid to invest in yourself. Obviously, that's something very admirable that you take your career seriously enough to put dollar towards it and to put it in right ways to promote and to stream your content. You're on YouTube. You obviously have some knowledge of YouTube, being monetized on YouTube and things like that. So you have what it takes, or you have the business sense on that side to really pay attention and know the proper ways. So I got to salute you with that. But my question is kind of transitioning into investing in yourself, because you also carry on full-time responsibilities with working. Obviously, I'm sure full-time responsibilities as a father. How
Right.
much of a challenge is that for you in your career in music?
Like I put it this way, as of recently, and with that particular track I can't pull out, actually the music itself is a collaboration with me and my son. So yeah, he go by the name of Blue Vango.
How old is
Um,
he?
and
How old is
he's a
he?
producer. He's a producer as well. He just turned 18 in his
Oh,
last year of high school, and we going over things as far as like his direction or whatnot. But you know, it's with him too. He's got the bug, so I'm not going to deny anything from anybody, especially when it gives them, it's therapeutic for them. And in this day and age, we need an outlet, regardless of,
Definitely.
whether or not we're going to profit from it or not. We all need an outlet, And like I said, music is one of them. I'm actually wearing like my recently trademarked brand out for me, So I do have like a little paraphernalia apparel line as well, that I just invested in, and I'm getting off the ground. It started earlier this year, somewhere around mid to end January.
yeah, dope. Send me the email us some stuff, man. If it's some stuff that we can market on the platform, man, we'd be more than welcome to do that and help you do that as well. You know what I wanted to ask you, man? Music aside, brother to brother, as we sit here and we fellowship this evening on this Thursday. Shout out to Michael Nove'lll, who's on the platform with us this
Definitely.
afternoon, this evening. You in Hawaii right now. You've been out there the last decade. How is it with the police? How is it with just dealing with certain people? Do you feel as a black man any different than you would in the States out there in Hawaii?
I would say, if anything, on the surface, no difference. In the soul, very different. At the time, and I don't want to get too personal, but I'm just put it out there. I was engaged before I moved here. You know what
Okay.
I mean? I was in a different place, and before I got to where I am now, I did the whole running with the knucklehead thing. I did the whole,
Hmm.
whatever, not trying to get too deep into my life before I got here. But now, since being here, um, I would definitely say that I put it this way. I always often use this analogy. In order to become a shark, man, you got to learn how to swim in the ocean by yourself. You know,
Hmm.
you can't act like you're swimming in the ocean. If you're
Hmm.
trying to be a shark, among other sharks. And to do that, to be able to, do that, you got to do something on your own. You got to find out who you are and what you're made of. So basically coming here, man, I would definitely say that I've gotten more in touch with myself internally because of so many distractions I had being on the mainland, and the fact that I'm around like so much more nature, so much more ocean, so much more like I'm gonna tell you, discrimination and racism, you won't escape that anywhere you go.
Word.
Everywhere you go, there's gonna be someone that doesn't like you.
Word.
But you're gonna always run into a group of people that love you too. You know what I mean? So, and me myself, I'm not too big on having like a whole great grand, you know, amount of friends and a circle of who I associate with has always been small. Here's no different. But the few friends that I do have, I consider them real friends. And I understand that friends, they're, for me, I can't speak on anybody else, but I take friendship very seriously. And I understand that friends come a few.
Yeah.
They don't come a dime a dozen. So being out here is freeing in a sense. And as far as like my creativity, I was able to get more in touch with my creativity and like the spiritual aspects of who I am, which I think that, and I encourage everybody out there, man, I understand, life is real and we pay attention to everything on the surface, but man, sometimes we gotta really go deep, you know, to see the truth about matters, man. We can't solve a problem without addressing the root cause, and that includes dealing with ourselves. How are we going to do anything or change anything if we're not, consciously dealing with ourselves, and just facing ourselves honestly, to a degree. You know what I mean? So, being here, man, it helped me through a lot. It brought me through a lot. And I feel like, if I ever do, relocate back to the mainland, I'll definitely be a different person. Um, Definitely have a different perception of life. Um, and as far as my creativity, it helped enhance that as well because a lot of what I've done, I produced 100% on my own. Besides, the new track that I just let out, which is a collaboration with my son. And most of the videos that I produce, some on the Vivo platform, like I shot myself. I, edited and everything. People see and view at least 90%, even down to the administration aspects of it, the copyrights, the legal aspects of it, man, it's all me. So,
Yeah.
It allowed me that space and that time and that discipline to really like cut out a lot of distractions because on the mainland, to be honest with you, man, I would have never gotten this far, you know, with all the distractions and everything that I was dealing with on the mainland. You know what I mean? Because we deal with people, man, they come in your life, sad to say that, we're often robbed of opportunities. Like we can take some of the responsibilities ourselves, but at the end of the day, and I understand at the end of the day, regardless of what happened to us, in part it has a lot to do with the choices that we make. So we still have to take accountability for those choices. So, for me being here, it helped me to realize that and to actually, do something about it. And that's what brought me to and enabled me to accomplish and at least, make a lot more steps towards what I really wanted to accomplish for myself, which would ultimately benefit, many. Because when you do what you love and you're able to prosper from it, I mean, people can see it, and it's going to benefit more than just you. Because I mean, when it's coming from the heart, when it's coming from the soul, I mean, like these are things, aspects of ourselves that can help many, bring many other people up and help them to realize that within themselves. So, that's where I'm at with that.
Yo, let's talk about the record, man. I can't pull out, you nasty motherfucker. You say you got one baby, but you make a song like that, man. Talk about the record, man. Why you wanted to promote that record in particular?
He's the artist
Well,
too.
you know what, man?
Yeah, I am an artist.
I could have, entitled it "I Can't Pull Out of Love," but we live in a clickbait era.
Word.
So I kind of want to leave the love thing out. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, not everybody is really on that. So, but I felt like, it's definitely original. And I really put a lot of me. I mean, like I really poured as far as the lyrical aspects of me, the best of me as far as lyrically, really consciously thinking through my verses and how they're delivered, I really consciously I wanted to reach as broad as possible. That's why the first verse, it's touching on, yeah, we going with the physical, but I also have poetry in there. That, like, the second verse is actual just a poem, basically. And I wanted to kind of transcend just the physicality of love, or, like, let's just say, just connecting, bonding. You know what I mean? So I wanted to touch on that. I wanted to touch as broad as I could, just being one, and then from an individual standpoint. So, but man, it was inspired. I was in the bedroom when I wrote it, and
Yeah.
I was just going through a little something. Yeah.
Nah, but it's good to have the outlet, man. I like how you talk about, how you created everything from the video, all the way down to the copyright, because we do everything here ourselves. You know what I mean? And sometimes we get
No doubt.
criticized, because it's not always up to par, but we're working towards that. I want to ask you, how do you deal with some of the criticism that you get for your music? Because every day we wake up in the comment section, people are like, yeah, it's fuzzy, this, that, and the third. How do you deal with the criticism, brother?
Man, you know what? I've been pursuing this music thing. I'm not gonna put, my age and everything out there, you know what I mean? Because I feel like at the end of the day, how do you feel? What do you think about yourself? You have to have that confidence about yourself, and you really need to know what you're doing, when you're putting things out there. But perfection is gonna always be something that escapes us. Like, for me, waking up, or dealing with any criticism I learned a long time ago, even probably a decade ago. Like, you know what? I realize no matter what I do and how great I do it, even if I'm working with people, and I've dealt with many partnerships along the way, you're not going to please everybody. It's never going to happen.
It's a fact.
But the beauty of distribution is, if you're really successful, you really have that back end, man, you get to reach people in other countries, other continents, with you get to find your following. You have the opportunity, because there's no way you're going to appease 9+ billion people on the planet. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Not ever.
Right.
I'm also, like Ogai was saying, I'm also an artist, so I understand the game. You saying that you wear all the hats. You're the producer, you're the engineer, you're the creator, you do your own videos, you edit your videos. I appreciate and understand that. But I know some of the struggle and the things I had to let go is, you can't have control of everything. Do you feel as though you kind of wear yourself thin holding all these responsibilities? And I know also trust, which your thing you love the most, is also very difficult to find. So having the right team around you. So is it that, but the kind of, what am I asking? Is it that you can't find the right team around you just to properly disperse things, or you just want to have hands on everything? You just that control freak.
No. Everything. Like, trust me, I've dealt with many partnerships. And to no avail, he's dealing with either conflict of interest on the business end or the creative end. I've been in bogus contracts, stuck in bogus contracts along, the journey along the way, for years. Like, these partnerships, at least from my experience, and I know that all partnerships aren't bad, but they don't come a dime a dozen. Like, really resonating with somebody, and finding people or associates really on the same page, or at least want to, they at least back in your interests. They see the potential in your interests, and they want to add to it. They don't want to destroy it, or steal from you. For me, it's been a case of all the above plus, which that I can probably write a book on that alone. But before becoming a solo artist, I was in a 5-member group, I was in a 4-member group, 3-member group, and 2-member group. So partnerships was all I know until, I eventually, started, I came here, I was already starting to develop that solo frame of mind, because I felt like, man, ain't nobody going to do what you need to get done better than you. Ain't nobody going to care for what you're doing more than you, So it's not about being selfish. It's just about self-preservation. And just, you have that vision and that calling, it just won't leave you the hell alone. You know what I mean? Until you've met certain objectives, and you're going to either get there with partnerships if you can find some good ones, or at the end of the day, it's like, well, You got to get out there and just make it happen. If you got to make it happen alone, which I do believe no man is an island, and everything I would never take credit for everything I've done. And to be honest with you, I don't believe in that independent BS crap. You know what I mean? I believe everything is interdependent because, just an example, me just doing most of everything that I do alone. I still need someone that's proficient in promotion or advertising, marketing,
Yes, sir.
and I have to pay them whether they want to do it for free or not. In my case, I pay them. So um, my hands are still on it. Because every dollar I get, I work my ass off for it.
I can definitely respect.
So I understand that no one can do it alone. We need each other at the end of the day. I just think it's about finding the right associations and connections and partnerships that fit into this bigger picture, this grand scheme, and just fit into that role and play that role to the max, where we're most proficient. So we can attain the success that we're looking for. Man, that's just my take on it, what I've got from my personal experience. So I'm definitely not doing it alone because I've had paid out much money. I paid for promotion, campaigns, or whatever the case might be. Man, like that's a job within itself.
Fact.
But as far as like the product itself and making sure that when I put something out that it can't be stolen, and if it is, then there's obviously legal ramifications, behind that. Just making sure your butt is covered. But I mean, like, if you're gonna do this alone, first you gotta think like a label. You gotta act like a label. You gotta put out like a label. You may not have that label money, but one way or another, whether we get there, within a month or like 5 to 10 years, man, that's why it goes back to the love. Man, if you don't love it and you're in it just for the profit, you're gonna buck out faster anyway. You know what I mean? For me to be doing it for close to 30 years, man, like, yo, at the end of the day, whether I've made a little money. I made a little, I made a little something from distributing, but nothing to brag about whatsoever. But and part of due because of backing, and I'm not signed with the label. I'm having to be, everything I feel like I need to be based on the knowledge that I have at this current point to get to where I want to be. And I know that I still, even at this point, I obviously still got a ways to go. But if I can reach people, man, allow me, have my voice heard, and have my creativity at least recognized, and people are entitled to their opinions. Judge it all you want all day, but for me and most artists, man, they have the opportunity to get out there and legitimately be heard, and then whatever the backlash or the feedback is at that point, I can personally live with it. You know what I mean? Because I know what I put out there. I put the best of me out there. So
that's what's up.
I can't feel bad for putting my best out there.
Oh man, we in the building with Michael Nove'lll on this Thursday evening. Shout out to him. Just in closing, man, before we get up out of here, let the people know where they can find you, your YouTube handles, social media handles, any singles, anything you have coming out, man. Let the people know, brother.
No doubt, no doubt. And I appreciate y'all, man. And I definitely love y'all platform, man. Definitely keep it up. And I have to say before I, finish up, man, what I like most about your platform is the fact that you guys are intelligent, but you also listen, man. There's a lot of bloggers out here, and I serve many. Talk, spill tea, but nobody's really listening. Nobody's really, listening and absorbing the different perspectives. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that aspect about your platform. Before you really, say what you have to say, speak your piece, man. You definitely like tuned in and making an effort to make sense of. Okay, well, I can understand that, but it is what it is. But for me, like my platforms, my social media, man, you can find me. My personal website is michaelnove'lll.com. My IG Instagram is I am Michael Nove'lll. Basically at I am Michael Nove'lll. Basically, you can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, all the, distribution platforms. I'm there. All you got to do is put me in a Google bar,
Yes, sir.
and you'll find me.
Oh.
Appreciate you, bro. Definitely. Well, yeah, man, that's all we got on my side of the table, man.
Yeah, man, that's all I got. Mike, it's been a pleasure, man. Fellowshipping with you the last couple of weeks. Appreciate you spending some time with us, man. Investing in yourself, putting your single on the platform. Great bill with you, man. We're gonna have this out within the next couple of days, so we'll definitely be in touch to communicate on that aspect. You can stay tuned and stay tuned for that on Bio Hip Hop News, Uncensored, the truth. We're gonna drop it off, man, and really do us some love, man. Appreciate you, appreciate your time. You stay safe out in Hawaii.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing it out, man.
Appreciate much love, fellas, man. Keep doing what you do, man. Yo, y'all guys are really doing us a justice, a service, especially being black, so-called black. I mean, you're definitely giving us a good look, man, and we need a whole lot more of that.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Appreciate that, bro. That means a lot, bro. Thank you.
Y'all have a good one, man. I enjoyed being on the show.
Nah, we enjoy having you, bro. Love.
All right, brother. Be safe. Peace. Yeah, man. So Michael Nove'lll.
Yeah.
I mean, great interview today, man. Really grow a lot of respect for that brother. You know what I mean? Just, we heard the song is one thing. We get to sit and talk to him and kind of look in his eyes, man. I definitely grew a newfound respect for that brother and wish him the best in his endeavors.
That's the dope part about having the promotional package we have going on. I hear a lot of y'all giving criticism to the pricing and things like that. Y'all can go to hell. To the people that's really investing and doing their thing. This is the dope part of that, to be able to sit with you guys for 20 minutes and learn something different. We weren't just talking about the music. We learned about that man, what he's going through out here, and got to build with a brother. That's the dope part about it. So if you're an artist, if you're an aspiring artist, if you got music out here, a platform, you can hit us up in our email. My email is dlsmediainc1@gmail.com. Oh, God will drop his in a minute. But yeah, man, holla at us.
Yeah.
If you're an artist, see the package and get your shit on here ASAP.
Definitely. Yeah, my email is ogod@hiphopun.com. That's OGOD@hiphopun.com. If you want to be featured on 1, 2, or all 3 of the platform, including the podcast, make sure you hit us up. Preferably on both of those emails. But yeah, man, a great first half of the show. We're going to get into the portion now where we get into the news section of the show, man. It's a lot